It's ironic when the left likes to make rules and then they refuse to play by the rules they helped create. Now, if you're not aware, if you're not a person who likes to follow politics a lot, I will give you a brief summary of why Ocasio-Cortez is being sued and is being ordered to testify in court when it comes to a lawsuit. Now, Trump, he basically he pretty much made a case that he can block Twitter users on his Twitter account because it's his own personal account. However, the court ruled that since Trump is using Twitter as a form to to pass on political information in the sense that for like in the sense that like for campaign rallies, events, what he plans to do, what are his plans for re-election, stuff like that. The point was that since Trump uses his own personal Twitter account for political reasons, he cannot block people on Twitter because therefore he is denying people's First Amendment rights. And he lost. He tried, I think he did an appeals court as well, and he still lost. So what happens then? Well, what happens is that the Democrats, they think that, yeah, we beat Trump. But here's the kicker. Even when Trump loses, he still wins. That decision stands for every politician, not just Trump. Meaning that if Rashida Tlaib wants to block Steven Crowder, she cannot block him. And even then, of course, if you go to Steven Crowder's channel, they actually did contact Rashida Tlaib's team in the sense that she did block Steven Crowder, and then they mentioned the precedents of the decision when it comes to the Trump case. And I think a day later, at least, I'm not sure, but the point is Rashida Tlaib unblocked him after Steven Crowder's lawyer, Bill Richmond, after he cited the court case and the possibility of literally being sued by Steven Crowder's team. Rashida Tlaib unblocked Steven Crowder. And there goes to show that even when Trump loses, he still wins. Now, AOC, on the other hand, she refuses to follow the law that she pushed to create. Okay? AOC is now being ordered to testify in court over her refusal to unblock people on Twitter. Now, her justification is that these people are harassing her, and then quote unquote harassing her, and that harassment is not policy. But if you go to Trump's Twitter page, if you go to Trump's Facebook page, whichever you want, look up the comments on Trump's comment page. You see people criticizing Trump just for being Trump. Oh, you Nazi white supremacist. Oh, I hope this happens to your family. I'm not going to name all of them, but I've seen some really nasty stuff. And yet Trump can't block them. So that argument is invalid because Ocasio-Cortez is a politician. She is denying people their First Amendment rights, and she refuses to follow the law. That to me seems like an impeachable offense because you are denying the people's First Amendment rights. You as a congresswoman, it's your job to not only represent your constituents but also uphold the Constitution. And when you fail to do so, you are also you're basically saying screw the Constitution. I'm not going to follow it, and you're not upholding it. Therefore, it's an impeachable offense. At least what I consider it. Maybe I'm pushing it too far, but it's really ironic. The left likes to set up the rules. They like to set up the playing field, and when the rules are not starting to turn on their favor, they say, "Well, I don't care about the rules. The rules don't apply to me." Right? Kind of like a monarch. The monarch says people who do this should be arrested, and the king does, and they're like, "Well, I'm the king. I can do whatever the hell I want." Right? It's pretty ironic. But let's look at the article. It's from law.com, and it reads, Ocasio-Cortez set to testify in lawsuit challenging blocking of Twitter follower. U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat from New York, was sued over the management of her @AOC Twitter account the same day the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed a trial judge ruling that President Donald Trump violated the First Amendment by blocking people from his @RealDonaldTrump Twitter account. U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat from New York, a federal judge has agreed to testify in Brooklyn federal court in a lawsuit brought by a former New York State Assemblyman who was blocked from her @AOC Twitter account. At an evidentiary hearing Thursday, senior U.S. District Judge Frederick Block, that's an actual name? Oh my God, that's really convenient. He is blocking AOC's actions of blocking people on Twitter. That's really convenient. If it's his real name, it's awfully convenient. But anyways, I'm digressing. Senior U.S. District Judge Frederick Block of the Eastern District of New York said Ocasio-Cortez should testify before the case, which was filed in July, moves forward. The Daily News reported that that Block at the Thursday hearing said, "I think she needs to testify here." Ocasio-Cortez lawyer Joseph Sandler of Sandler, Rife, Lamb, Rosenstein, and Birkenstock confirmed that Ocasio-Cortez would testify in the matter without further action from Block. A date for her testimony has not been set as of Friday, according to Sandler. Former New York State Assemblyman Dov, I'm gonna go with Dov Hickend or Hickend. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. I just never seen this name before. A Democrat from Brooklyn who runs an organization called Americans Against Anti-Semitism sued in July after his verified Twitter account was blocked by Ocasio-Cortez's verified Twitter account. I'm gonna go with Hickens. Hickens' lawyers argue that he was blocked purely because of his speech in support of Jewish values and Israel, making the case a First Amendment question, according to court documents and attorney Jacob Weinstein, who has represented Hickens. Ocasio-Cortez, who has said people are only blocked from her Twitter account for harassment, and in her answer to the complaint last month, asked for the suit to be dismissed with prejudice. Hickens filed this lawsuit on the same day that Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed a Southern District of New York ruled that President Donald Trump violated the First Amendment by blocking people from his @RealDonaldTrump Twitter account. In that case, Columbia University's Ninth First Amendment Institute sued Trump on behalf of 7 people blocked from his Twitter account, arguing that they were being deprived of a public forum under the First Amendment. Both Trump and AOC have official Twitter accounts related to their jobs at POTUS and at Rep AOC, respectively, but they use the accounts that predate their offices more often and discuss political issues on those accounts, according to court documents. I'm gonna take a break here. That is true. Donald Trump does have a Twitter account for the presidency, but the majority of times where I see Trump tweet is from his personal account, and he involves political subjects in there. Therefore, he cannot say it's my personal account. I can block whatever the hell I want. No, because if you're blocking people on an account that you use political that you use to reach out for political support or political information, then you cannot say you cannot defend yourself by saying, well, it's my personal account. If you use it for political reasons, that also falls under the jurisdiction of you being a politician. Therefore, you cannot block people on your personal account. So AOC is pretty much breaking the law. Okay. Hickens' complaint repeatedly cited that the Trump ruling, a petition from Trump's legal team for a rehearing, is currently pending. In August, the Knight Institute wrote a letter to Ocasio-Cortez saying that her Twitter blocking was unconstitutional and offering to help her develop a social media policy. In a response on Twitter, Ocasio-Cortez wrote that fewer than 20 users were blocked from her account due to ongoing harassment, including distribution of fake nude images claiming to feature her. She said none of the people blocked were her constituents. Hickens lives outside her district, according to court documents. While a date for Ocasio-Cortez testimony was not confirmed Friday, Hickens' lawyer Jacob Weinstein said Block suggested dates in late October and early November, indicating that the judge wants the case to move quickly. Ocasio-Cortez's argument that she's only blocking people that are not because they're not in her, they're not your constituents. Then why don't you block everyone that isn't in your district? Why is it that you're speaking to 4 million Twitter followers? Your district doesn't hold 4 million people. AOC, they don't. Your district doesn't hold 4 million people. They do not hold 4 million people. Your district doesn't hold 4 million people. Okay? But your argument is that ongoing harassment, if you don't believe me, and I'm not saying that you should go follow Trump on Twitter, but go on Facebook. You have a Facebook, go on Twitter, look up the comments of Trump's, every time he tweets or every time he puts up a new post on his Facebook, you will see some very nasty stuff. I've gone on Twitter, and again, I don't go on it often, but I've seen it. I've seen Trump's account. I look at the comments, and I see a lot of nasty stuff. Not a lot in the sense that it's the majority of the stuff, but every now and then I'm going to see a comment that wishes for the death of Trump, wishes for the death of his family or harm to his family, and it's really sick. It's really disgusting, and it's really pathetic. But Trump can't block those people. If people are deciding that it's appropriate to put pictures of fake news of AOC, then I think it's wrong. But they have every right to do so. She is a politician. Did you see Sarah Palin try to sue an adult film star when they did a parody of her in the adult film industry? Because it was all over the news. Really, I'm pretty sure you probably saw it from time to time, and I'm not saying you can watch that stuff, but it was all over the news. There was an adult actress who was literally making parodies of Sarah Palin, and then you see Sarah Palin try to sue, the adult film industry for for taking her name and literally running it through the gutter, in the sense that they kind of made a parody out of her, and it comes to the adult content, right? You didn't see that because Sarah Palin was a public figure. She was a politician. Therefore, people have a right to criticize politicians. They have the right to praise them if they think that they're worthy of praising. But AOC's excuse for ongoing harassment, I don't buy it. Because I've seen Donald Trump's feed, and some posts are really sickening and really disturbing, to say the least. So I think that AOC should, again, she is testifying, but I think AOC should be held up to the standards of following the law. One of the things that comes to being a representative is upholding the Constitution. AOC is therefore denying the First Amendment, which is part of the Constitution, and therefore it could be considered an impeachable offense if she refuses to follow the law. Now, if she's ordered to unblock all of her Twitter followers that she's blocked, and she still doesn't do it, I think at that point we should remove her from office, because it's clear that she wants to establish rules for her opponents, but when it comes to her, she doesn't care about the rules. Because again, rules for thee, but not for me. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think AOC is going to win this court case, or do you think that the people are going to win and saying you cannot block people on Twitter because you are a politician, therefore you have no right to deny my First Amendment rights? Let me know what you guys think about this. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification button as well. That way you never miss an upload. But the best thing you can do, and I said in every video, is share the video. YouTube likes the rank independent political commentary, and you sharing the video helps me bypass all of those restrictions. Share it on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere that you think, if you think this video is worthy of sharing. But honestly, though, I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think AOC is going to win this lawsuit? And if not, why? Obviously, the argument is obvious. But you think it's very hypocritical of the left to establish rules and then refuse to follow them themselves? Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. The next segment will be regarding to a former YouTuber. It says YouTuber, but I don't know if she's still doing videos on YouTube. But it's going to be a video about how the left likes to eat itself, and how they like to preach certain things, but when they mess up, they turn against them automatically. All right? Hopefully you guys can stick around for that segment. If you can, I'll see you guys in a bit. And if you cannot, I'll see you guys at a later time.